hello. I've arrived. Artist, archivist, future man, and tonight, theoretical medical professional. You can call me Tiberius Vanderfield. Hello. So today, Arknights. Slightly late because I got caught up talking about Magic the Gathering with some friends of mine. Such is life. Anyway, so tonight, as I have said, Arknights. Yes, tomorrow we should be seeing. I'm definitely leaning more towards Guilty Gear. I'm definitely thinking that it will probably do Guilty Gear. That being said, I guess it's not going to be a huge difference one way or the other. The only difference is whether I'm playing Guilty Gear on Thursday or Friday. Though honestly, with that in mind, I might want to just do it on Friday, just for the sake of not disrupting the schedule too much. But yes, anyway, so. That being said, now we are planning on Thursday being some more Atelier Yumiya. Yes, then, I don't know, it still could go either way. I don't know, I'm not in a hurry to play Guilty Gear. I'm fine with waiting until Friday. But yes, anyway. The reason why I would be even remotely in a hurry, of course, is again because there is a new character who just came out, Venom, who I do kind of want to see. I suppose we'll still see tomorrow, but I don't know. I guess it'll depend on what I'm feeling on that particular day. So yes, one way or the other though, again, it could go either way. We'll see Atelier Yumiya and Guilty Gear in the next 2 days, whether they are on Friday or whether they are on Thursday or Friday, respectively, remains to be seen. One way or the other though, Saturday will definitely be more Arknights. Yes, so, that being said, we should be pretty good on the... Oh wait, hold on, right. So, times. So, all streams except for Thursday and Friday streams are at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, roughly. Depends on how much I talk about Magic the Gathering ahead of time, I suppose. But yes, 8:30 p.m. Central Time, roughly. Then the Thursday and Friday streams you can expect to be around 9:30 p.m. Central Time. So I am going to see about shooting for 9 going forward, because I definitely think it's achievable. I definitely think it's achievable without too much strain, even, which is sort of the main thing. I could definitely stream earlier in a lot of cases, but, you know, there are some things that I can't not do after work. Some things that just need to be done. And then after that, I usually like to relax to some degree. So, anyway, where was I? Arknights, right. Anyway. Yes. So, that should be the schedule. So, now we are getting into the video game. Arknights, once again. But yes. So, for tonight, we have concluded the Delicious in Dungeon event. Even if we hadn't, it's over now, so there's not much we can do with it. But yes, we do still have some tokens to exchange, but I don't see much point in doing that on stream, so I'll probably just do it in my own time. Yes, now we are getting back to the main story of Arknights. Just as a reminder, once again, we'll be going through the main story, primarily. If another limited time event comes up, we might delay for it. Yeah, there's an event going on right now, currently, but it's collab events that I stop for, generally speaking. This is not a collab event that is going on right now. I don't know precisely what it is. I just know that it exists, more or less. Yes, I clicked into it on accident the other day, and I saw the tutorial and I skipped it. Or I saw the explanation, rather, and I just skipped through it, because I wanted to be back to the grinding sooner, but I don't know. I don't know precisely what's going on. I might look into it. I might do it to some degree. Probably I'll do it off stream one way or the other, because you can get a skin for vanilla from it, which is pretty nifty, I would say. But yes. So, where was I? So yes, okay. We're continuing the story of Arknights. We're in episode 6 right now. We're continuing the main theme of Arknights, I should say. So yes, once again, we will be continuing the main theme through chapter 8, or through episode 8, rather. Yes, we will go up to the end of episode 8. Then we will take a break. Arknights will go to being a side game at that point, while we do some of the events and some other things that I want to do. Then after that, we will pick up again with Act 2. Because yes, episode 8 is the end of Act 1, and episode 9 is the start of Act 2. So yeah, I don't think that Act 2 is completed as of this point, and it's probably, I don't know, we're probably not in any danger of catching up to it. Probably not in any danger of catching up to the end of Act 2 before it's completed, but yeah, anyway. So, one way or the other, we will continue with Act 2 until such time as we are done with Act 2, at which point, I suppose we will see where things go. Yes, of course, the end of Act 2 is a target that moves, because again, I think that they're still making Act 2. I don't think they've started on Act 3, even in the Chinese server or anything like that. So we should still be good on that. I don't know, by the time that we get to the end of Act 2 probably will have ended, and they will probably be on Act 3. I don't know that for certain, but it's very, very possible. But yes, so, with that established, again, we will be doing Act 2 until there is no more Act 2 to do, one way or the other, at which point we'll again probably start doing side content. But yes, so, all that being said, let's get into the actual game itself. So, Operation 6-1, Deadlock. So, the recommended level is it's lower than it was at the end of episode 5, but it's higher than it was at the start of episode 5. So it looks like they are expecting some greater difficulty. So yes, now that we are through with the event, I'm not going to theme my team as heavily around the Delicious and Dungeon operators. I might still use them from time to time. Again, I've heard that they're not spectacular, but I don't care that much. Simply put. But yes, that being said, I do like to theme my team in general. So, we're going to go with Chen for one of our characters, and we're going to go with Anya for another.
Momentai.
So yes. So, with that being said though, who else we're going to go with is unclear at this point. I suppose we don't have a strong reason to diverge from the usual. I do definitely want to experiment with characters a little bit more. Try out some ones that I haven't tried. Because there's a lot of ground that we have not covered in Arknights. And definitely towards the end of the Delicious and Dungeon event, Delicious on Terra, we saw sort of the limits of my experimentation and my knowledge. Where, on the final level, there was a point where we needed specific enemies killed, but they were rather tough, very high defense, very high resistance. So they were impractical to kill under normal circumstances. And it simply didn't occur to me. It did occur to me, but I dismissed the notion quickly that using a push operator to push them into a pit would be an effective way to get rid of them. Again, I dismissed that notion on the grounds that the event, or rather, for the event, killing enemies would give you ingredients. Killing certain enemies would give you ingredients that you would then use to cook. And I sort of assumed that putting a creature into a bottomless pit would make it not edible. Of course, again, there was no reason to assume that, but I simply, was not used to using push operators, so it didn't really stick out to me that it could be as simple as just using one, and indeed it was. But yeah, and again, another change from a more standard sniper to a less standard sniper in the form of Pinecone provided us with a huge boon for that level as well. So again, there's definitely a lot of improvement that I could make in terms of the breadth of my tactical abilities. Yeah, I could definitely broaden my horizons quite a bit. And I do want to do that, but I don't necessarily want to go through the trouble of, or rather, I don't want to spend the time. Yeah, I don't want to spend the time picking out entirely new units that I've never used before or anything of that sort. Or even, not necessarily ones that I've never used before, but going through the trouble of picking out ones that I have used but maybe have underutilized or want to experiment with. Yeah, anyway. It's probably taking me more time to explain this than it would be to just not do it, but anyway. I don't want to spend too much time thinking about what units to choose before we start to get into the game itself. So I'll probably be doing at least some of that thinking off stream. So yes. That being said, for medics, it's fairly straightforward, I suppose. There's not a whole lot of, there's not a tremendous amount of complexity. Yeah, a lot of them, there are some that work quite differently than others, but for the most part, 2 standard medics or a standard medic and a multi-target medic are usually fine. So I think we'll probably go with that. We'll keep Perfumer around. Yeah, medics are definitely a class. I'm going to block this here for a second. Yes, medics are definitely a class that I haven't experimented much with. We've got a lot of... I guess it's not a class that has a tremendous amount of units in it, but it's definitely a class that of all the operator classes, it's definitely the one that I have raised and used the fewest operators in. So yeah, so I definitely don't know. There's a lot that I could look into, a lot that I could see about changing with medics, or a lot of experimentation I could see. A lot of experimentation I could do, I should say, I suppose. But yes, anyway.
I won't fail you.
Yes, Perfumer and Hibiscus.
Everyone.
For defenders, again, I'm sort of moving away from leaning very heavily on defenders as we have in the past. And I'm definitely wanting to use more guards. So I think rather than a double defender strategy, we might go with just one. And I think, again, largely for the sake of variety, let's go with... Who do we want to go with? I suppose there's no... Yeah, again, with defenders, I have more defenders, certainly, than medics. But it's also a class that I've not experimented around with very much, so I don't know... Yeah, I don't know if there's any specific medics that I would, or any specific defender that I want to use. Well, I don't know. Again, there's part of me that doesn't want to do too much of this thinking on stream. So, well, yeah. Let's simply not overthink it right now. I can think about it later. So yes, for the rest, I do think I want to use at least one specialist. I don't know what specialist I would want to use, but I want to use at least one. Of course, the thing about specialists is that they are special. They are specialized, so that they generally aren't universally applicable. You can always use them, but they're not always useful. A pull operator or a push operator is most effective when there is something you can pull or push enemies into to instantly remove them or otherwise cause harm to them, or even just to delay them, I suppose. But I suppose delaying is pretty valid, and pull operators do stun the enemy, I think, while they are pulling them. That's also worth considering. You know what? I've kind of talked myself into it. I think we're going to try out Shaw. Yeah, again, I've not used push operators in basically any scenario other than when there is a pit to push the enemies into. That's not the only situation that I've used them, but it's the only situation that I use them in frequently. And pushing enemies back could very well be useful in other situations. Again, it does, move them, It prevents them from doing as much damage. Yeah, for a time. It makes them have to walk back up to you. And again, part of the reason why I underutilized push operators is because I always assumed that they had pretty low stats. I had assumed as such because they can be placed on range tiles, and typically ranged units are fairly weak, but they can also be placed on melee tiles, so they have to have stats that are comparable to other melee tile units. Yeah, Chen here, for instance, has 261 defense versus Shaw's 229. And of course, that is a difference, but it's not a huge difference. It's meaningful, yes, of course, but of course Shaw's even lower level than her. If Shaw were to be level 15, there would still be a gap, but it wouldn't be as significant. Anyway, again, I had always assumed that they weren't practical to use on melee tiles, which was a major part of the reason why I didn't use them very much. But we've definitely seen them be useful on melee tiles. We've definitely seen it before, and I want to see it some more here. But yes. So, beyond that, I do need to start putting some vanguards on the team before I forget about it. But yes. A type of vanguard that I don't use very often are vanguards such as Grani here, who is a charger. But yes, chargers are definitely a lot more situational than other vanguards. You get their full DP cost back upon retreating them, which is nice, but they don't generate DP on their own typically unless you are killing enemies with them. And they do get DP every time you kill an enemy with them, of course, but if you're not killing a lot of enemies with them, then they're not giving you a lot of DP. So yeah, I definitely have not used them very much. So I can't say how good they are or if they are good or not, really. I suppose part of the issue to me is sort of that, well, okay, one thing that makes them valuable, again, is the fact that you can retreat them for their full cost, which is usually not too high anyway, but you can retreat them for their full cost. But I typically try to avoid retreating units. I typically don't like doing it. And there's no real reason not to. Yes, there's no reason not to retreat your vanguards. Yeah, I just typically like to have setups that involve as little retreating as possible. Not for any particular reason, or at least, I don't do this as a challenge for myself. I just sort of like the idea of simply put all of your units where they should be the first time and just have them be there for the rest of the mission. Which is definitely a strategy that is not good. It is definitely a strategy that is not good, and using that strategy has caused a lot of problems for me in the past. So, honestly, doing as much as I can to get away from that mindset is probably going to be beneficial to me in the long run when it comes to learning more about the game. So with that, I've definitely talked myself into it, and I think I'm going to use Vigna.
I'll learn from others' battle techniques.
Yes, Vigna is quite weak for where we are. For one thing, her skill isn't leveled up, which I can pretty easily remedy. For another thing, she probably needs to be promoted. We can probably make do with her as she is. But, again, I'm also leaning less on the use of just having low-level operators as a means of increasing the difficulty for myself. I think Again, a lot of what it does is just make missions take longer. Because if I can beat a mission with units of, low level, I can do that and it's impressive, but usually it's not that much more difficult than beating the game or beating the level with a higher level version of that same unit. Usually it just, takes more hits to kill the enemy. Again, you do need to be more careful about not getting killed yourself, but that's usually not a huge deal. It can depend on the stage. But, again, I want to... I don't know. it's not satisfying. It's not satisfying. It's not a satisfying challenge. It's just kind of obnoxious in a lot of cases. It's just kind of obnoxious, and I just don't like doing it. I don't like doing it that much. It's been fun. There have definitely been times where I've, had the experience of, oh, I know I can do this with these, such and such units. I know I can do it with such and such units. I just need to practice a little bit more. And we've definitely gotten there. And it's been satisfying when that does happen. But in general, I'm still, it's not a perfect solution to challenge. Again, there's other ways to get derived challenge from the game. There's other ways to derive challenge from the game. And it's also probably something that's inhibiting my growth as a tactician. Because again, if we're at a situation where our defenses are much lower than what the game expects, then we need to have a very defense-heavy playstyle, which is why when I was playing the game casually, I tended to gravitate towards heavy use of Lopsis and heavy usage of defenders and things like that. Heavy usage of snipers and other units that can't be targeted by melee enemies. Just so that I would not be having my units taking damage, because they couldn't take much damage unless they were defenders. This sort of probably cemented in my mind the idea that, everything needs to be concentrated in a very specific spot so that we can have the most medic coverage that we can get, and we can make sure that everyone is healed and protected as much as we can, rather than, being able to experiment a little bit more, experience the breadth of the game. So, low level can be fun, low level can be interesting, but it also prevents us from fully experiencing the game to a certain extent. It prevents us from being able to try out as many different things. Anyway. Let's go with Beanstalk. No need to think about this too much. As for guards, we've been using guards more recently, but by and large, just using guards at all is kind of a break from at least the initial pattern I found myself in. Swire's a pretty decent guard in general, I think, and she's definitely good for for thematics. Still have, sadly, I still do not have Hoshiguma, even after all this time. So I cannot include her for maximum LGD, what's the word I'm looking for? Representation, there we go. Yes, this beginning of the stream has definitely ended up a lot more contemplative than I expected it to be. I didn't come into here planning to spend all this time talking about my strategy and thinking about it, but I suppose really there's no real reason not to. Perhaps it's something of a less than efficient usage of time when my goal is to get through the game. But, on the other hand, it's important that I share my thought process. But yes, if you just wanted to see the game be beaten, there's obviously other channels that you could go to. But if you're here specifically, presumably you like me to some extent. And probably are not going to be disappointed if I decide to talk. But yes, anyway, so as for other units, I think we'll go with at least one caster. And again, I think we'll go with a type of caster that I haven't used before, or at least not extensively. And for that, I think we're going to go with Click. Yes, Click is a Mech Accord caster. So this means that she is able to, she has a little sort of sub-unit that also targets enemies. And I don't know the exact functions of their mech unit, because I haven't used mecha cord casters extensively. I don't know that I've used them at all, now that I think about it. Yeah, I've definitely not used them extensively. Yeah, controls a drone that deals arch damage. When the drone attacks the same enemy, its damage will increase up to 110% of the operator's attack. So yeah, so I knew that much. I suppose this doesn't tell me anything more about it. Because I know that they can attack separate targets, but I don't know how the drone targeting works. I think it's roughly that the drone attaches to an enemy, I think following roughly the same priority as or the same targeting rules as the caster themselves. But I think that the mech or the drone can continue past the point that past the range of the caster, but I don't know how far they can go. Anyway, so click. I think we're also going to want to go with a sniper. I think for the sake of consistency, we might want to go with just a marksman sniper. Just have one on the team just for, again, for consistency,
Just
for
give
basic.
your orders and I'll carry them out.
I realize now that I don't have a lot of variety in guards. I was hoping to have a few more guards on the team. But I suppose Shaw, again, is a melee unit, so we can use her in a somewhat similar capacity. Yeah, anyway. The reason why I say Jessica, or a marksman sniper, is because I also want to try out different types of snipers. And I think specifically the type of sniper that I want to use would be a heavy shooter sniper, who are very short range in general. As for that, I don't know which heavy shooter snipers. I don't think I have any that are... Oh, I do have one that has some levels on her. Acid drop here.
Wakata.
Yes. I didn't think I had any leveled up at all, but that is incorrect. Yes, I don't know precisely what the mechanics of a heavy shooter sniper are, but I do know that they have high damage, generally speaking, as far as snipers go, in exchange for the fact that they effectively have the range of melee units. But yes, I'm going to look it up, actually, because I do believe that they have some sort of effect on them. I know that snipers, such as, this isn't the sniper page. Yes, I know that snipers such as Pinecone does more damage in the first three closest squares of her range, whereas this fourth square doesn't do as much damage. I don't know if mechanically speaking it does more damage it has a damage bonus for nearby enemies, or if it has a damage penalty for far away enemies, but I guess the difference is pretty much purely academic. So no need to really worry about it. But yeah, if you promote them, their range does increase slightly, so that they, have 3 tiles that don't get the bonus, or which do get the penalty, depending on how exactly it is applied, again. But yes, it is only the 3 initial tiles that get the damage boost, that do more damage. So yes, or heavy shooters. It doesn't look like they do have a specific mechanic of them. Yeah, the heavy shooter sniper is the only class branch whose trait does not affect their performance in any way, instead being more akin to flavor text. Okay, so basically they have a trait, but the trait doesn't do anything. Fair enough, I suppose. Or at least they have an inherent trait to their class, but that trait doesn't do anything. But yes, given that we're trying out a whole lot of different things, and I have absolutely no idea if any of them will even remotely work anywhere near effectively with one another, this will probably be a pretty difficult mission, even barring the fact that a lot of our units are pretty underleveled. But, again, I want to experiment. Zip. But yes. The year 937. Duke Eric and Professor Learland D. of Peisberg Parliamentary University published this co-authored paper in the Journey of Urban History. Where Did We Come From? Issue 44. The paper discussed the results of a detailed analysis of a collection of weathered remains. The investigation into Sargon Excavation Site 4 revealed a common origin for infected quarantines and executions with the law itself. That is to say, the suffering of the infected predates even the emergence of the law. Lungmen support structure level, exit. Ross Nova. Now, we must fight. If you can defeat me, it means some will be able to survive. I'm willing to join Rhodes Island. I'm willing to fight together with you against the enemies of the infected, your way. This is my burden to bear. 8:50 a.m. 4 hours of after the recapture of the LGD headquarters, near the commandery exit. LGD and Rhodes Island Pharmaceuticals. Lungmen Search and Destroy campaign, final phase. 1. Control Reunion's movements within Lungmen, complete and under the direction of the LGD. 2. Mop up Reunion's forces still in Lungmen, complete under the direction of the LGD. 3. Eliminate Reunion's operational commander or their command influence, complete under the direction of the LGD. 4. Eliminate the Reunion movement before they can withdraw to the slums, complete under a joint LGD and Rhodes Island operation. Attention all citizens. Are performing an evacuation exercise. Those citizens who have failed to evacuate, please lock your doors, draw your curtains, and do not leave your homes. Does it have to be so loud? Shoot that drone down already. Now, we're just caught up in an exercise. How dare they use such cheap tricks to cover the exquisite terror I've worked so hard to formulate? And to repeat it over and over again in both Lungmen and Ursine tongues. I've had enough of those drones. Hurry! Keep to the side streets. Nothing from Scout Team 3 either. Assault signals suddenly cut out. We're losing contact with all our Overwatch teams one by one. Why? How? Such an insult, such humiliation foisted upon our movement. But how and why? Curse you, Lungmen. Curse the Arknights. Curse the uninfected. Never seen him so unstable like this. House, do we still have a chance to retreat? I'll make some space for you. It's just your run-of-the-mill cops with the LGD plus Rhodes Island. We should be able to run and get away. What do you mean? Who else could be out there? I can't believe this. I can't get through. I can't even issue orders to my teams. How am I supposed to win? Someone's watching us. There's still more to this city. Get ready. Survive. Got it. Faust? We trust you. "9:20 a.m. Rhodes Island patrol route near the LGD. They're really leaving this to the infected? Rhodes Island got a raw deal this time. And in Lungmen. How could a city as big as Lungmen not have what it takes to fight off an invasion on its own? Now they've got infected fighting infected on behalf of the normies. Whatever, certainly not the first time. Hurry up and clear a path. Don't look back, just break through their defenses. If we can just get across the street, we have a shot at grouping up with the 2nd Brigade. Don't give them a chance to retreat, to return fire. There aren't many of us left. And in a moment, there won't be any of you left. What? Who are you? Did you just drop out of the sky? Get back. Get out of here. She might be able to fly. I really can't. Identify yourself. Use your scanner. Sorry, I have to deal with this first. Huh? Lungmen law enforcement, listen up. I'm from Rhodes Island. Hold your fire. I really don't want to have to deal with crossfire while I'm fighting. I can handle this on my own. You head on to the next roadblock. Okay then, back to you guys. What's up with this chick? I'll explain it to you. I'm sure you can figure it out. Probably. I am Blaze, one of Rhodes Island's elite operators. My current objective is to cripple your combat capabilities. The intentions with which you undertook this invasion of a foreign city-state notwithstanding, we aim chiefly to disarm you. Setting aside the injuries and damages you have inflicted upon others and intended penalties, any attempt to resist at this point is pointless. Put down your weapons, you still have a chance. Huh? What? You... My fellow infected, I give you a choice. Surrender at once, and I will escort you to Rhodes Island and subsequently deposit you somewhere welcoming to infected. She blocked it with her bare hands. Seeing as how you continue to resist, there's nothing more I can say. As if we just let you lock us up. How crazy are you? I'm not crazy. There's a time and a place for a fight, and a time and a place for flight. It's just that when you choose to fight, all I can do is fight back. Either way, I don't need my chainsaw. Sorry, I really don't want to fight my fellow infected. So humid in Lungmen. Stupid cat is using arts. Body's steaming up. My body. Guess again. Is it the air around me that's getting hot, or the air around you? Let's take a Sami bath together. My treat. Yes, I do like her very clearly reading something that was prepared, or maybe not reading, but reciting something that was prepared for her ahead of time. Alright, so, again, we do need to be sort of mindful. Mindful of how we deploy Vigna. Because we can't rely on... Yeah, we can't rely on Vigna to be able to generate DP, necessarily. I guess this would give us better coverage for Click. Yeah, let's see how this drone works. So yeah, so it is targeting the same target as Click, as expected. And we will place Shaw. I think we'll place Shaw. Oh dear. Alright, well, we've got a caster here, so Click is gone, but oh well, such is life. Chen, if you'd be so kind. Yes, we do need a caster before long. So yeah, we're definitely hurting a little bit from lack of... Or did I say caster? I did say caster. We need a medic before long. We are hurting a little bit for lack of... Yeah, hurting a little bit for lack of DP. Not severely, but it is definitely something that could be a problem. Yes, we'll place Beagle like so. I don't think that... We're definitely not getting a whole lot of value out of Shaw in her specific location. Place Squire like so. Yes, get a little bit more DP out of Beanstalk. And I think we're about ready to switch her out. And then... we want to deploy Amiya, because the casters here are casters. And thus they are... or they're armored casters. And thus they are resistant to physical damage. Probably not to such an extent that... Ooh. Possessed Heavy Defender.
Don't force my hand.
That could be an issue for us. Probably not a tremendous one, but it could be. Yes. Got a lot of skills ready to be used. Let's see. Do we have... That is going to affect Shaw. Shaw doesn't do a lot of damage, so it's not going to be that impressive of an effect. But, let's see. Anya is facing left, so she can target the heavy defender once they're active. Yeah, I suppose one thing that I hadn't considered about the casters... we are having a little bit of an issue here. Yeah, one thing that I hadn't considered about the casters... Alright, now Acid Drop is going to get shot. I don't like that.
That's fine with me. Come on, chill.
I almost feel like we should have placed Vigna just to have another target on the field.
Battle stance ready.
Yeah, one thing that I hadn't considered about the casters and about Shaw specifically is that her being able to push them back means that they're going to be in a situation where they... Yeah, they're going to be in a situation where they are going to be able to... Oh dear. Yes, they're going to be in a situation where they're going to be able to shoot more often. I don't think there's really... Okay, yeah, we are losing ground on the bottom here. Yes, we're not going to get a whole lot of value out of tea cake there, but at least it's something. We should be able to make it through this. In fact, yeah, I don't think... Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's any more enemies that are going to spawn. Yeah, so anyway. So again, typically a ranged unit, if it is being blocked, will only attack the unit that is blocking it. But since they are getting pushed back, they're not getting blocked as much. And obviously I didn't know where the casters were until such time as they were active in the mission, but something to consider going forward. Yeah, we definitely, if we want to use a push operator on the ground, so to speak, we definitely want to make sure that they are paired up with a unit who can do some range damage, so they can cover them while they're not doing damage. And we want to pair them up with a unit that, yeah, pair them up with a, make sure that they're not blocking units that are, what's the word I'm looking for? Make sure they're not blocking units that have ranged attacks if we can avoid it. Yes, indeed, it does seem that even with her pretty low level, Acid Drop does do a pretty significant amount of damage. That's it. Luckily, I did some warm-up back in Chernobog, but really, I didn't even break a sweat handling you guys. You Rhodes Islander, you're a disgrace to all infected. How could you turn on your own like this just to help Lung Men? So you'll hand us over to them as if that keeps your hands clean? How do you live with yourself? Huh? You ate 2 punches, cracked your skull on the pavement, and you're still got the energy to talk trash? Not bad. But you got it all wrong. Having trouble breathing? Feel like your lungs are on fire? Starts in your sinuses, then crawls down your windpipe until it finally finds a home there in your diaphragm. All I have to do is wiggle my little finger, and a stream of superheated air will shoot into your body, expand, ignite your organs, and erupt out of your pores. The funny thing is, Lung Men might let you live, but me and my little finger won't leave any of you breathing. No, let me go, please. Fine, I'll be merciful. Officer, over here. You take care of them. And one more thing, my new Ursus buddy. You think next time you could actually make me break a sweat? Hey, they made it. Dr. Tiber, over here. You're certainly making a lot of noise. Well, that seems kind of rude. You did very well. Ah, that was nothing. How about next time I show you how to snap an arm 90 degrees without breaking the bone? Let's not steer the doctor astray. Funny. Don't just scoop me up like a toy. You're just so soft. Hey, stop struggling. Just let it happen. I promise I won't bite. Blaze, stop. Can't breathe. We've only been apart for an hour. What is with you? Get serious. I take it back. You're not cute. Unacceptable. That's enough. Whoa, hey, I was just playing. Get out of my head. I can't take you screwing around with my emotions again. Wait. He's here with you. Hello, I know who you are. Talk to my fellow infected like that again and I'll tear out your throat myself. Please. Sorry, Amiya. That's the way it is, and she deserves a warning. Better than a lack of a warning, I suppose. I'm out. Rendezvous at the next waypoint. Greythroat, Blaze may have misunderstood you. It's fine. I really did say those things. You shouldn't be dredging up your past to attack the person you are today. Who knows? Have I really changed? Even I don't know. Well, you'll need to do something to find out then. I'm here because I wanted to do something, no matter what that Blaze says. Amiya. Right. She's not infected, so Greythroat might not grasp the reality of Rhodes Island's current situation. This operation could force her to decide once and for all if she's going to stay or leave. But she's gotten used to taking orders and doesn't speak up much. Sometimes she does surprise, though. There's no malice in her heart, she just needs a chance to find herself. Still, she's strong and reliable. You can trust her, Doctor. And even if we can't help her, I know she can help you. Oh, where did Gaviel go? Got too excited and went to crack skulls? You can't do that. Wait a minute. Who taught you to think of her like that, Doctor? I mean, it's kind of true, but still. Well, I will say, Gaviel taught me to think of her like that. She probably prefers that I think of her like that to some extent, but obviously she wouldn't want us to downplay her abilities as a medic, but most certainly she would not want us to downplay her ability as a brawler either. We can't afford to make mistakes here. Hurry to the next waypoint to try to signal her. Even if she's operating according to plan, there'll be trouble if no one's watching her. What about the other teams? We've got elite operators acting as squad leaders. They'll report in, don't worry. We stand at a crucial point in this joint operation. This is the decisive battle for Lung Men. About Superintendent Chen. She has her own mission to command. Superintendent Chen, as Chief of the Special Inspection Unit, will be deploying the best of the LGD has to offer against Reunion in service of our joint plan. At the same time, she has to herd Reunion's main force to the target location, all while keeping any of their smaller teams from slipping into the slums. And we, Rhodes Island, will keep moving through the waypoints on our patrol route, mopping up Reunion squads along the way, pushing them to give up the fight. Finally, we'll reach the target location at the slums and, together with the LGD, will deliver the decisive blow to Reunion's main force. Considering the scale, there's relatively little Rhodes Island can do, but we'll execute the plan to the best of our abilities. As for the issues that have come up in the course of our cooperation with the LGD, Dr. Tiber, I promise to answer to all of our people. But, Doctor, there is something only you can do. Leave it to me. Good. But it's not the kind of thing you'll have to put so much effort into. I'm going to call up Blaze and have her look after you. And for the little while until we meet up again, I need you to look after her, too. Me look after her? Have you seen me? I'm not talking about like in battle. I mean, look after her psychology. You know Rhodes Island has to fight the infected sometimes. Especially right now. Our cooperation with Lungmen has led to some friction. Blaze is one of the elite operators we rely on for survival, yes, but her psychological state has an impact on her performance. It is because she is so resolutely committed to our mission that her encounters with the infected have the potential to influence her emotions. Go on, Doctor. Treat it as an opportunity to learn what makes her tick. Show your appreciation for her. Thank her for saving you back there. She'll eat it up. Good idea. I believe in you, Doctor. Go get 'em. Well, I suppose we're going to be putting Blaze on our team. Their main force is engaging our other teams. You'll reach the target location ahead of Reunion and join the formation. Tell them we need to eliminate all Reunion elements that have not joined up with their main force first. Right, got it. Do what Superintendent Chen just said, over and out. How long has it been since we fought together like this? I wouldn't say we're fighting together now. It's more like we're co-belligerents. How did you get back here anyway? I've got my own motor pool, of course. How else do you think I saved Rhodes Island? Now, what's got your panties in a twist? I can tell you're upset. Let me think. You need to think about it? Look at you for looking for reasons to be mad. Oh, right. You went behind my back to save Rhodes Island. You could have told me in private. Was that embarrassing for you, or you just don't like being kept in the dark? Both. Wowee. Since when are you so direct? My old officer Chen would talk herself in circles for hours. Eyes forward. LG Defender Squad, shields up. Play it just like we have a million times before, and never forget your brothers and sisters are right behind you. Stand firm. Hold. Crossbows, knock. They block this road too? Uh-oh. There's nowhere to go. We're trapped. Relax, we can break them. With me. That's an incredible amount of confidence there. Unfortunately, you will not be backing it up, but I do respect it. Hold. Guards, ready. Overrun them. Now. Crossbows, first volley, fire. Pikes up. Don't let a single one of them out of our city. Are you on site? Yes, that's right. I know, but the LGD has their job to do and you have yours. Don't forget your role in all this. Indeed, Ling Kojui is quite opposed. But this matter is beyond him. I've heard all the opinions from all the stakeholders, but there's no wiggle room here. I do what must be done. Kojui's daughter will reach out to you in the next 3 weeks. You are not to contact me. Everything goes to her. I leave it to you. Don't worry, I am watching you. There's no need for that. The past is the past, and it stays in the past. Right. The peaceful and stable future of Lung Men. So you've got quite a few angles working here. Way, old boy, we're brothers of a sort, aren't we? So, I'm asking you, for the sake of my daughter and her mother. Honestly, should I even have to ask? Would you really refuse to help your own sister? I've already decided on a name for my daughter. We'll call her Tallulah. Don't take it to heart. I understand. It's all very clear to me. Yes, unfortunately someone did slip through, but it is what it is. But yeah, so we're getting a little bit more background on Tallulah then. But yes, I had seen that she... Well, I shouldn't talk about it, because that would be a spoiler, but yeah, I don't know too much about the story, but there's only so much that you can avoid while still engaging with the fandom to some extent. Yeah, still seeing fan content and whatnot. But yes, so I have known some of the story of Tallulah and her connection to Lung Men, which we have just seen the first hints of here. Well, it was hinted at previously, what with her interest in Lung Men specifically, and all that. Yeah, we've seen hints of it before, but this is sort of the first very strong evidence of the connection that she has to Lung Men, I would say. Yes, anyway, so that mission went pretty well. Apparently we're going to be facing some kind of abomination. Rick didn't do very good, but that was mostly because she was, A, getting shot. I think that the fact that she's level 1 is probably contributing to that, but I don't think it was contributing as much as the fact that she was just in a situation where she simply died very quickly. He also wasn't within range of healing, so that was an issue. I almost wonder if we should have more healing operators. Like, maybe have another healing defender. instead of Beagle or something like that. So we can have a... Because, yeah, we're not always... Yeah, in that last mission, range tiles were at something of a premium. There weren't a lot of great places we could place a medic. It looks like they are going to be a lot more free in this stage, so it might not be an issue. Again, I need to make sure that I'm not just trying to solve every problem with the exact same strategy. I want to make strategies, I guess, you know, I don't necessarily need to draw up a battle plan for every single new mission that we undertake. Not a lot of them will necessarily require that much deep thought. But, yeah, again, flexibility is good. I don't need to reinvent the wheel every time, but being willing to adjust my strategy when things need to be adjusted is probably for the best. Yes, Figma. Let's see. Again, we did have some slight DP problems, which we could probably remedy to a certain extent by... Nope, we don't need to promote her yet. Yes, by upgrading Beanstalk skills, because I realize she also has pretty low skills. Yes, this isn't a tremendous increase, but it's not nothing. Let's see. Pardon. Trying to think. Does she get the ability to deploy more than one? I know that with her skill, when she gets promoted, she can have more metal crabs at once. But I don't know if she can have more than one metal crab at once as she is now. Because, yeah, right now I'm pretty sure she can only deploy the one. Yeah, it says can summon metal crabs, plural, but I don't think that you actually get multiple of them. Yes. Okay, anyway, so Beanstalk is what she is. I suppose she is also a sniper of a sense, so maybe Jessica is not as strictly necessary. I do want to put Blaze on the team. I don't know that I want to switch out Jessica specifically. Part of me wants to switch out Amiya, honestly. Because Amiya has put us in charge of Blaze and Blaze in charge of us, but we don't have a whole lot of arch damage. We also aren't necessarily strictly going to need it. But that being said, our only other caster is pretty weak right now, so if we're going to have just Click, I'd probably like to level her up a little bit. I think I might promote her if we're going to use her more. Because I'm sure that whatever she has for her second skill is going to be a lot more interesting than just plus whatever % attack. Or, actually, does she have... What is her skill? Yeah, it is plus attack. Okay. That's it. Yeah, so she'll get... When she promotes, she'll have more attack speed. And she will also get another skill. So, that will increase her attack range. It will give her plus 40% attack. It will release a drone to attack enemies and grant self and drone a 20% chance to stun enemies for 0.4 seconds. Okay, this one specifically says that the drone locked onto an enemy until the enemy is defeated or the skill is over, then returns to the operator. So I wonder if that means that it sends out the one drone that she has already from just being a Mecha Cord caster, or if that means it sends out another drone such that she will have 2 drones in play for a certain period of time. That's it. So yeah, once again, I think if we're going to use Click much more, we're going to want to promote her, and especially if we're going to be taking Amiya off the team, we're going to want to promote her. I feel like... No, I definitely checked recently, I think, to see what operators had English voices. Yeah, if Click had one, I would have switched her over to it. But yeah. I typically like to do that. I know that the Japanese and other language performances are pretty good. Like, there's no issues with them, of course. But I typically like to have the operators speaking a language that I and the I assume the majority of my main demographic can understand, that being English.
調子やったドクター記念撮影しよ
Alright, so Lick is now promoted, and we can now use her second skill, which will make her a little bit more interesting than just a standard, yeah, because again, the first one doesn't really have any terribly interesting mechanics attached to it. Yes, whereas the second one will be I think, a better showcase of what it means for her to be a Mecha Cord caster. We'll probably also want to promote Acid Drop. Yes, so she'll get plus 20 attack and attack two times consecutively. Yeah, so yeah, each attack will be 2 attacks. Slide Shot style, each attack that deals at least 20% of this target's attack damage increases to 30% of attack when the enemy is in the 2 frontal tiles. That's quite good, actually. That's very good if we're facing something that has high defense. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember precisely how much. I don't know precisely how much the usual defense number is. I think it's like. Because, yeah, like, defense cannot ever reduce the amount of damage a unit would take down to 0, but it can reduce it quite low. It can reduce it quite low. Let me double check that also. Yeah, again. Yes, minimum. Alright, so. One way or the other, it is not. Okay, see damage physical for more information. So, defense. Okay, so the minimum value is 5% of attack. So, when fighting something that has very high defense, she effectively does 4 times as much damage. So that's quite strong. Honestly, if we had her and we had her promoted, I guess we did have her, but if we had her promoted, she could have been very strong for the situations where we had to deal with the berry metal crabs. Yeah, that would be very good. Anyway, yeah, now I really want to promote Acid Drop. I was thinking about holding off on it until I felt like we needed a little bit more power out of her. But I'm definitely looking forward to this. This is definitely a talent that I think would be very nice.
どうもこんな風に表彰されるのは鋼が2杯で優勝した時以来だっけ
Yes, it looks like she already has experience with crabs even, so it would have been even more ideal to put her on the team. Well, one way or the other. Again, we'll switch her over to the second skill. Attack speed is pretty good, especially because I do believe that they attack somewhat slower than marksman snipers just by default. But yeah, I do want to try out trigger time because it's a little bit more unique. Otherwise, I don't see a whole lot of other. I guess, yeah, we could always promote the rest of our units. I don't know that I want to promote too many, especially because we, again, still have something of an issue with DP. Your stabbing could be good. Anyway, we'll see. I guess one thing with Charger Vanguards, even if they're not giving us a lot of DP, they can be useful for being temporary units. That's probably something that's valuable about them, even if that's, again, a feature that I've never really taken much advantage of. Because yeah, I definitely avoided using her in that previous mission, just because I didn't think I'd be able to get that much value out of her. But again, a temporary unit can still be good. A temporary unit can still be good just to block a little bit for a little bit of time. Anyway, so before I forget, we're going to switch Blaze in. Do I have Blaze? No, of course I have Blaze. I've used her before. Blaze.
Time for combat? Count
There
me
we are.
in!
Yes. So, Blaze. Yeah. Probably will promote Blaze at some point too. Because, yeah, she does. Yeah, as a 6-star, she definitely has a. Usually 6 stars are quite good and they have a lot of interesting mechanics to them. Emergency defibrillation. Yes, when this unit's HP falls beneath 25%, restores 50% HP, one time only, prevents HP from falling under 50% for 3 seconds. That's quite interesting. Yes, and then she has a permanent skill for her second. Yes, attack plus 40%, defense plus 10%, and attack range increases unlimited duration. That could be nice. Yeah, again, we will see about promoting. I don't think we're going to promote her. We're definitely going to level her up. We're going to level her up, but we're not going to promote her right away, I don't think.
I've seen a lot of battles like this, but tougher times might still be ahead of us.
Yes, level her up, not promote her, not until I've figured out what I want to do about DP. We could also promote Beanstalk, probably. I don't actually. No, because everyone together is not a. It's more focused on getting more crabs on the field than it is on getting more DP, I think. Because, yeah, everyone together. Yeah, it has a duration on it. It generates more DP per activation, of course, than her first skill, Sentinel Command. But since it has a duration, it's going to be. Yeah, the DP per second is not going to be very high. The DPPS. Honestly, we might want to switch another more standard Vanguard in. You know, I've been wanting to try new things, but, you know, it's not as though consistent DP generation is a bad thing to have. Yeah, it's not as if it's a bad thing to have, and it's not as if, you know, there's not many Vanguards out there who can do that. I don't know. We didn't do terribly about DP that time, so I'm probably overthinking it a little bit. But yes, we won't change anything immediately. Oh, Rosemontes, what are you doing? I want to fix this terminal. 6 years of memories up to last year. I saved them all in here. This morning I went to read the log from June 12th. The screen wouldn't turn on. What if I can't ever read them again? The March 14th log where I went to the botanical gardens with Daddy, or hiking in July, or at the time when Mommy... Don't cry. Listen, you're not great with screens, right? Why not wait until Scout can help you fix it, or Closure? I'll take it to Closure for you. She'll fix it up lickety-split. Scout. Is Scout that one operator who moves around all quiet? That's him. You know him? Yeah. With that perfectly polished look, like a porcelain doll. There he is. Huh? I'd yet to hear your estimation of me. I now understand how weak it is. When did you get here? You could say I've always been here. I'm used to concealing myself. Oh, Mr. Scout was here all along. Why didn't Blaze sense it? I wasn't paying attention. I just didn't notice. Hey, if you were standing here all this time, why didn't you help her fix it? Forgive me. We are mere moments from undertaking a mission. I must focus my energy on calibrating my weaponry. I might ask Closure or the good mechanist to assist you. Are you about to go save Dr. Tyber? Yes. Oh, you're going too. It's me we're talking about. If I didn't go, what kind of joke would Rhodes Island's elite operators be? And what did Ascalon say? The usual. She's not going. Always there with Dr. Calcite, not one. Did it ever occur to you? And now is perhaps not the optimal time? but it might be our last chance. Barenbog is probably going to turn back deep to Ursus to avoid that catastrophe, and a rescue operation in the Ursus interior is going to be pretty impossible. Keep hearing you talk about it, but is this Dr. Tiber really worth all this? Worth as much as Amiya and Calcite. Have I met the doctor? Not yet, but you will soon. Good. I want to know what the doctor is like too. I really, really want to. You will, kitten. By the way, Ace, there's an uninfected girl named Greythroat on your team. I'm aware. She's been training in isolation. Listen, Blaze. I've been working with her for a few months now. She has trouble expressing herself, but she's not a bad person. You looked my teammate in the eye and asked, how hard could it be to be infected? I know, but it might have been a legitimate question to her. You might really be curious. It's not my place to demand an operator turn her opinion on the dime, and Greythroat has never once questioned orders. I don't care. I'm not going to stand by and let her insult my teammates, and I sure won't let her disgrace the struggle of the infected. Now's not the time. I can see the rage you're holding back, but really, not now. She said it right in front of me. Take a breath, big cat. You have a task at hand yourself. I do. Fine, we'll deal with it when you get back. When is Ace more senior than me? When you take that tone, I start to think maybe you're screwing around. He may very well be mocking you. When he goes 2 days without shaving, he'll definitely look way more senior. Ace's beard is very manly. I have to go move some stuff around. Got my own job to do, you know. Later. Get a drink when I'm done. Try not to puke this time. Misery spent 2 hours scrubbing the floor. I wager he would vomit himself when faced with that task again. Who knew you could hold your liquor so well? Rosmontis, Machinist will give you back your terminal in a bit. Be a good girl and wait patiently. Don't forget either. I'll definitely remember. Bye-bye. Don't burn yourself. Relax. I can control my own arts. So we're seeing a little bit of Blaze's background. How is it you went before me? Blaze, was some uninfected girl like Greythroat really worth training? How much trust did we earn? And how much trust did we give? The doctor. Hi. Yes. If I don't believe in Rhodes Island, is that what you are questioning? I'll string you up on a lamppost as bait for a reunion. Don't worry. You won't die. A few bolts and a knife or two never hurt anyone. Did Amiya send you? Whatever. That's what she's best at, what she's worst at. Keep trying to remind her to get her thinking about how much she's still a kid. Always seem to have the opposite effect. I guess she'll never be able to put down that grown-up persona of hers as long as she's the leader of Rhodes Island. Of course, if it wasn't Amiya who sent you, if you decided to come keep me company all by yourself, I'm not against the idea. Hold me back? I could carry 3 of you on my back and I wouldn't even notice. One little Dr. Tiber can't hold me back. Hey, look over there. Is this a ruse to get me away from you? Go on, get out of here. We don't want to fight. We won't yield to the infected. You're outnumbered. What's the point? Duty. Don't blame us for what happens. You see those monsters behind us? Just run already. What monsters? See that reunion group cutting through the alleys? They're picking at Lungmen's vanguard units. They won't hold for long. Give me a path. The usual, or the fastest, of course. Don't give me that look. It's not like I never carried you before. Here we go. Smash reunion and save the Lungmenites. Alright. So, we have deployed Blaze before. We've never used her extensively. Yes, we want to cover as much ground as we can.
The fire is spreading this way. Get ready.
Ah, well.
Here I go.
Unfortunately, we're not going to be covering any ground with... Yeah, we can't overlap the field of fire.
準備万端だよ
Yeah, even if we had... Well, actually, if we had deployed Beanstalk up on the top left there... Not top left, but this space here, we would have been able to... Yeah, we would have been able to have her...
準備万端だよ
Is... Alright, Vigna's not going to have the DPS to deal with them all on her own, and she's not going to have the healing to be able to do it indefinitely either. That's unfortunate, but such is life. Yes, this may not have been the best partnership, because I feel like there's a decent chance that...
Victory shall be mine!
Alright, well... Okay, no, we're good there. Alright, well, let's try... Let's... Yeah, okay. Who do we want to place and where? One thing, we do definitely want to place a medic in general. I don't know that this is the best place to put Perfumer. It's probably not. Eagle is... Oh dear. Alright, well, that's unfortunate. Eagle's probably not the best choice for this because the casters... Shen's probably better. Anyway, the casters are going to be... Let's see. Okay, we'll deploy... Or hold on. Can I... No, I don't think I can remove the metal crab, actually. Alright, we need to get some more healing on Chen or else she will perish, which we don't want. We are going to have the casters able to target...
Drop your weapon.
Able to target... Oh dear. Alright, we need to have some more coverage on the top lane as well.
Business competitor or not, you will get a lesson from me.
Man. Yes, she did not survive long.
Don't want to get sawed in half.
Yeah, I was wondering if we could retreat the crab and replace it, but no. If we attempt to retreat it, it just remains where it is. Yes, remains where it is, but its health resets. Yeah, I remember having done that during the event, so unfortunate that I forgot, but such is life. I suppose if we want to replace the crab, we'll just have to replace Beanstalk.
Surrender now if you don't want to get sawed in half.
But yes. Enraged possessed soldiers. Extremely high attack, loses HP over time. So these, I imagine, are an enemy that we want to stall. Oh, Beagle is not within healing range. Oh dear.
That's fine with me.
So Beagle's not going to survive a whole lot longer here. Oh,
Drop your weapon.
right. I hadn't been thinking about the casters there.
I've seen through the enemy's Mommy, watch this.
Yes, Beagle is definitely not in a good position. She will not survive long.
Only gonna make this place hotter.
Yeah, definitely we would want to have more ranged units on the field sooner. Think a little bit more about where we place our medics. I wanted to place them out of the way as much as I could, but yeah, that was not the optimal play here. Alright, so, possessed soldiers. You've already seen that they lose HP over time. Again, we want to delay them where possible. I think we'll definitely especially want to delay them when they're facing someone who is not Beagle. Okay. Well, so yeah, so we'll want to focus on melee units for the... We'll want to focus on placing them later after we've placed at least some of our ranged units. I wonder, would this be... That probably wouldn't be great, honestly. So,
What kind of battle will it end up being?
Crab,
I wonder.
Vigna.
battle
I
stands
think we
ready.
want someone to support Vigna as soon as we can, and the earliest support we can get is in the form of Schweier, I think. Schweier or Jessica, but I think I'm a little bit more inclined to use Schweier, because I then want to switch Vigna out for Beagle eventually, as we did last time. Yeah, I suppose with the way that this level is set up, we're not going to be... actually. So we want Click covering this way, so that we can deal with the casters. This might be a little bit better, actually. Because, yeah, that would let her attack them sooner. But... okay, hold on. Right. So, we have had a problem occur on the other side. But, this is not a good choice, but it's the choice that we have available to us. Alright, we definitely need a medic.
I won't be afraid.
But now may not have been a good time to place a medic, because now we're going to have an issue with the casters, just kind of walking through us.
Out of the way! Out of the way!
So yes, so DP generation is definitely a problem right now.
Take them out fast.
So yes, Chen cannot heal, or cannot be healed at this juncture.
Jump!
Igna can probably still get some DP.
This place could
This
use
is...
some
okay,
heat.
we need to stop. We need to get Vigna out of here so that we can get a medic on the field so we can heal our other units.
That's fine with enough fragrance revive
So
your
yes,
mind.
this is not ideal, but it should be better.
Only gonna make this place hotter.
But yeah, I think we would have wanted to place Click after we placed
Yes?
Perfumer, because Click at least has some resistance. It's not a lot, but it's a non-zero amount.
Blood's only gonna make this place
I
hotter.
guess it would have also been more efficient to place Chen further forward. Well, at least Blaze can do quite a bit on her own.
Fresh blood
Yes,
coats
Beagle
my soul
can't do that
and
much,
boils the whole battlefield.
but she can, yeah, strengthen our defense here. Yeah, Chen is quite strong, so we don't need to worry about her so much. We can reduce the DPS of the casters.
Drop your weapon!
Yeah, with how we've placed Chen, she isn't able to... Click isn't able to cover her very effectively. Also, I thought we had switched Click over to her other skill, but it seems that we have not. So, that's less than ideal, but
Blood's only gonna make this place
it is what it
hotter.
is. If we place... If we place Shaw like so,
Don't wanna get sawed in half.
I don't know how much that helps us, actually. It probably doesn't help us very much at all.
Like this. Please, come to your senses. Hurry it up. Let's move.
Yeah, I don't know how much Blaze can stand up to from the possessed soldiers. Not a lot, it seems. This won't allow us to block more than one. And yeah, they won't survive very long, so that was a poor move. Okay. Yeah. I thought maybe we could get a
I'm sorry.
final one there.
So sorry.
Not bad, but not very good either. Well, not bad. Could be worse. Could be worse. Trying to think. So, comparing Click,
Us frontline breachers have high
Click
standards.
has
Try to keep up.
not a whole lot of HP. Yeah, she has less than half the HP of Chen. Or maybe not less than half. Let's see, 800, yeah, 1684. So yeah, she does have less than half the HP of Chen. Yeah, she has less than half of the HP of Chen, so the resistance difference doesn't really make up, doesn't make up for that, certainly at all, at least in terms of survivability. So deploying Chen after Click is probably good. But yes, Perfumer also has significantly more HP than Click, actually. I guess because she is also much higher level. So yeah, I was thinking that we would want to use Click's resistance to be able to tank some of the damage from them, but it seems that that's maybe not actually a good idea. So yeah, so since I'm planning to place Chen, like, here, and again, we might even want to place Shaw there, because Shaw's talent does give her some resistance. It's not a lot, but it's a non-zero amount. So yeah, the extra HP and some resistance will probably make Shaw better for us to have as a target than, say, Click. Anyway, so one thing that we do need to consider is the fact that Blaze is definitely not well equipped to deal with the possessed soldiers. Yeah, we could probably switch in a D-cell binder. So yes, Eagle, on the other hand, is very, very well equipped to deal with them. We can activate her skill, and even if without it, she has pretty high defense. So yeah. I don't know if Wire and, Wire and Beagle probably have pretty good attack, so I don't know if I necessarily need to support them with Click right up top there. It might actually be better to place Click down here. I realize now that I still haven't switched Click over to her other skill.
Requesting medevac.
But yes, anyway. So, as I was saying,
It's all my fault.
so given the...
I'm sorry.
I guess we're actually getting kind of late here. I'm going to switch over the skill, and then we're going to end here. I'm going to make sure everyone is on a skill that I want them to have. So, Perfumer's healing up is fine. Yeah, Fine Blending is good for if we want to make use of her passive, because it halves the speed at which she attacks, but it doesn't quite double the amount of healing she does. So she heals more per heal, but she heals, her actual healing per second rate is reduced still. So yeah, again, since her passive healing is based on her attack, increasing it is better. It might actually, I guess I haven't run the numbers. It might still be a net gain to use Fine Blending because of how much it increases her passive, but I think that healing up is probably still going to be good for most circumstances, if we're assuming we want to heal consistently. Because yeah, the passive provides healing, but it doesn't provide consistent healing, Yeah, the healing that it provides isn't fast enough to keep up with if the unit is taking a good amount of damage. Anyway, we want Click on synchronized attack. Did we not set that to default? We did set that to default, but because she was in the team with the initial skill, she retained that skill. Yeah, again, we'll switch over Acid Drop. Wire could probably be promoted, but we're going to keep her as she is for right now. Beanstalk is also fine. Yeah, Shaw is on what I want her to have. Yeah, and most of the other units that we have can't equip another skill anyway, or would need to be promoted for it. Yeah, so, as we established, again, we're not doing too bad here. Yeah, we just need to tighten up the defense a little bit. Yeah, Shaw is probably good to some extent. Maybe not amazing, but yeah, I don't know. It might genuinely be a net loss to knock back the casters, because again, that means that they can target units that aren't Shaw. Yeah, if we want that to still be a positive for us, we do need to make sure that they are getting attacked by someone else that isn't Shaw. So in that case, yeah, having Click or the other one. Yes, Click or Acid Drop on the top lane there would probably be good. Of course, we can also have them on the bottom lane. Yeah, again, we want to make sure that we're dealing damage to the... Actually, one thing that I'm realizing is that I am probably over-centralizing my forces in the lower, or in the, like, right at the end there. So actually, well, okay. We don't necessarily need to defend there for the sake of our, we don't necessarily need to defend there. But I think it would still be most efficient to defend there, because that means that the possessed soldiers need to take the longest route possible to get to where they start being blocked. So that means that we have to spend the least amount of time blocking them, which is ideal. So yeah, so it might actually be better. Since we can rely on Beagle's defense, you might want to have our top defense be up here. And of course we can switch around sides, right? Or whatever we would like. Our top defense up here, and have our middle defense here. So that way we can get a lot of covering fire in this area. Yeah, have that be as such, then defend here for the bottom lane. Yeah, in this case, we will definitely need to, I think we'll want to have our single target medic healing over here so that we can make sure that Blaze, or whoever else we decide to deploy there, is well taken care of. I guess another thing that I hadn't considered is that we might want to use Shaw for the... Yeah, we might want to use Shaw to block the possessed, actually. Because yeah, being able to knock them back will mean that they're going to be taking passive damage. Okay. You see, this is the value of thinking. I finally discovered it after all these years. But yes, anyway. Yeah, giving your plans a little bit more thought really does help. I suppose that's not necessarily a big surprise to a lot of you, I would imagine, but I don't know, it's a bit of a turning point with regards to how I've approached this game. So yes, so Shaw is probably good. I wonder how many units Shaw can block. Ideally, I'd like her to only be able to block one, because I would like her to block the possessed, but I think she can block two. Because yeah, ideally I would like to have Blaze behind her and taking up, or taking on whatever Shaw is not blocking. Yeah, I think that there could be some overlap, but yeah, again, since Shaw is going to be pushing enemies back fairly consistently, we aren't necessarily going to want to... Yeah, since she's going to be pushing enemies back fairly consistently, Blaze is not going to be able to support her that much, which probably means that we want to support more with ranged units there. And in fact, we could use Blaze on the top. Well, no, because I want... Wherever we're blocking with Beagle, I want to have Swire, because Swire is going to have a pretty significant damage increase. And I want Beagle in front because I want her to take the attacks from the possessed. And I don't want... Well, actually, I guess another way to think of it. Like we were saying, we don't necessarily need to just place our units where they are and just have them there forever. We could have Blaze be in front for a while, put Swire behind her, and then, once the possessed moves into position to be potentially a problem, then we could switch out Blaze for Beagle. Yeah, switching the offense for a defense. Because as much damage as Swire can do with Beagle blocking enemies, and thus giving Swire a damage increase, Swire and Blaze together can do even more damage, because Blaze is more geared towards dealing damage because she's a guard and not a defender. Thus, dealing damage is kind of her job. So yeah, so if we do that, we could probably, again, concentrate a lot more ranged units on the lower level. Yeah, I definitely like the sound of that. But anyway, that being said, again, we are at the end of our time for today. So, let us conclude. So yes, Arknights has been good. Again, I'm very glad that we spent a lot of the end of the Delicious on Terra event rethinking sort of how I approach this game, because I definitely think that it's going to be very helpful as we get into later levels and more challenging content and more bosses that are, yes, more bosses that cannot be solved by feeding them. But yes, so, all that being said, again, if if anyone has any raid suggestions, please, please, please do let me know. If not, I can find a target on my own. And yeah, yes, business. Okay, we'll go over the business. So tonight has been Arknights. Tomorrow, again, I'm leaning more towards Atelier Yumiya, but it could also be Guilty Gear. Yes, one way or the other. Thursday and Friday are going to be Yumiya and Guilty Gear, but which day is which may not be, or is not yet fully decided. Ah, hello, physicist. Yes, glad to see you here. We are just about to wrap up. Just barely in time, indeed. Yes, so, you're just in time for the raid, I should say, I suppose. So yeah, so if you have a target, once again, please feel free to suggest them. And, yeah, once again, I'll get back to going over the business. So yes, so, where was I? Somewhere. Arknights. Yes, so, tonight, Arknights. Again, Thursday and Friday. Thursday and Friday are going to be Guilty Gear and Atelier Yumiya. Which one is which has yet to be determined. Again, I was initially bumping into my microphone. Okay. I was initially planning on playing Guilty Gear as early as possible because I wanted to make sure that we were going to be seeing a lot of Venoms online. Yeah, no folks playing the new Xenoblade, new Super Meat Boy, and Fields of Mystria. Well, yeah, again, raid suggestions are whoever you think. So, whoever you feel like you want to see tonight, perfectly fine. Yeah, I'm not concerned with the game or anything like that. Yes, any target is a valid target to me. But yes, anyway, as I was saying, so I was initially wanting to play Strive, yeah, as early as possible to see Venom, like maximize the chance of seeing as many Venoms as I can. But I think it's probably not going to make a huge difference whether I play it on Thursday or Friday. Honestly, since Friday is the end of the week, it might actually be more optimal. Yes, it might be more optimal to play it on Friday because that's going to be a time when more people are going to be ready for the, playing as the, playing for, since the weekend is coming up. Anyway, Rocket Chin is going for achievements in Super Meat Boy. Ah, yes. Yes. Might go and drop by Marky then. Sounds good to me. Yeah, I saw some of his, I don't know if it was his previous, if he's done any in between then, but I did see him doing his, because yeah, he's still doing the, what was it, Deathless, I think? Yeah, that's what he was doing last time I dropped in anyway. But yes, where was I? Right, okay. So, Thursday, probably Atelier Yumiya. Friday, probably Guilty Gear Strive. Might switch those around if I really feel like it. But I think, yeah, I've talked myself again into thinking that probably Friday is the best day for Guilty Gear. And then Saturday, we will be playing Arknights once again. So yes, the Thursday and Friday streams, you can expect to be Deathless achievements. Okay, cool. I know things. But yes, so Thursday and Friday, you can expect to be around 9:30 p.m. Central Time. But I am going to do what I can to see if I can get it closer to 9 p.m. Central Time. Yeah, just to have a little bit more time to play around with. Yes. Close to 9:30 p.m. Central Time. And then the Saturday stream you can expect to be around 8:30 p.m. Central Time. So yes, okay. Anyway, all that being said, we have our raid target. So, let's go and set up that raid. Yes, Marky Chin. There we are. And so, the customary raid message is, as always, we have arrived. Yes, thank you all very much for being here. It is always a delight. Yes, it is always a delight to have you all here. It is always a delight to be playing. Yes, and indeed, Arknights has been quite fun, as per usual. Yes. Let's see, I feel like there's something else I should say, but I can't think of anything to say. Thank you for the stream. Yes, again, thank you for dropping by. But yes. How many times can I say, but yes? Okay, so thank you all for being here tonight. I hope that you've had a fine night. I hope that you continue to have a fine night every night. And I hope that you'll be well until the next time I see you. Thank you all very much, and farewell. Let us get this raid underway.